Welcome to TGC. My name is Yasir Khan, and today we have joined by Mahin Shafiq. She is an expert of international politics. In today's podcast, we are going to discuss the internal politics of India. Ma'am, first of all, thank you so much for giving your time.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, I just read your recent report in which you have contributed, and it was very comprehensive. So, what led you to study these reports, and what were the factors that were in your mind that, you studied, you made these reports about Indians' internal politics?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This is an excellent initiative to reach out to the community who's working on these subjects and researching in these areas. Um, like you asked, we recently had a lot of elections around the world. Majority of the states, especially in South Asia, were undergoing elections. And this is a coincidence because a lot of political developments turned out this way that a lot of elections were happening in 2024. What the reasons that compelled us to look into this study and to produce a quantifiable data was that a lot of the political speeches, a lot of political rhetoric within the Indian election season needed evaluation. We wanted to search and we wanted to look if this rhetoric is true or not. For our research, we looked into the wealth status of the Lok Sabha members because we saw that during the election season, a lot of candidates and a lot of election commission members, they have highlighted that the wealth status is one of the significant aspect during election season. We saw that religion was ridiculed and used gaining vote and also to counter vote. We saw that caste was used in all of this politics. We saw that Mr. Narendra Modi has constantly used the aspect of calling Shehzada to the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. And we have all constantly seen him stating that they belong to a royal family or they hail from a royal family. So we wanted to see if actually Congress has a lot of people belonging to dynastic political backgrounds. And then lastly, we looked into the RSS affiliations of BJP members.
So
So
you
this we want.
So you just talk about religion as a factor in Indian politics. Do you think it's a belief or it's a strategy to use to gain the attention of the voters, especially in the case of BJP?
It's a very important question, and you've very rightly highlighted. It's both a belief and a strategy, I believe, that we have seen that BJP has constantly used the Hindutva ideology, the Hindutva narrative, or upscaling the Hindus in India, which we all know is a secular country. We saw that BJP, from our study, that BJP had out of 240, 329 members of the Lok Sabha were Hindus. We saw that only one member was a Buddhist member. This indicates that the Hindus were galvanized to vote for the BJP. We saw, in comparison, we saw that Congress has comparatively more, which was only seven members of the MP, which were Muslims, and 75% of them were Hindus. This indicates that religion is being constantly used in India to gain electoral vote, to enhance electoral bank. And then we have also seen that this is not only at the political level, we're seeing constantly at the social level that religion is being used to ridicule people. India is a secular country with different numbers of religion. We have Muslims, we have Sikhs, Christians, Buddhists as well living in that region. But we saw that there were targeted campaigns against Muslims, such as Love Jihad, Ghar Wapsi, and we have constantly seen that businesses and houses of Muslims and other religious minorities are being bulldozed. They are not allowed in parks where majority Hindu population is allowed. This indicates that the fabric of social community, of social harmony is being polarized within India by these political agendas of the Hindutva ideology.
So why do you think that some families have a strong influence in Indian politics? Do you think it's their loyalty or it's like their legacy in the politics?
We also wanted to look at this aspect of if Congress, which is accused of being a royal or dynastic political or having a dynastic political background, we saw that from our statistical analysis, we saw that Congress has 40 MPs who belong to political background, whereas dynastic political background, whereas BJP has 54 members who belong to dynastic political backgrounds. Although this number indicates that BJP has more members from dynastic political background, but if we put this aspect into percentages, we found that about 40% of the Congress MPs had dynastic political background, as opposed to only 23% of the people who had dynastic political backgrounds. We have seen the Nehru-Gandhi nexus, but we have, which indicates that Congress does have some sort of dynastic political background, but we can completely not deny this aspect that there aren't people in BJP who have dynastic political backgrounds. We saw that some of the BJP members also had royal backgrounds. There were families from different constituencies who have royal political backgrounds. And in addition to this, we also saw that majority of the people, the wealthiest people, belong to Congress. There were extensive business elites, people who have assets in 1,000 crores in Indian rupees. These people belong to the BJP. We also saw that during election season that business tycoons such as Ambani and Andani, both of them were affiliated with the BJP. So this indicates that although Congress has dynastic political background, but more power, more wealth is basically in BJP.
So, like, there is one religion factor in Indian politics, and there is one dynasty factor. So, what do you think the youth bulge in India? Does the youth of India they are reshaping the Indian politics, or they are just accepting the ideas of their elders?
We have seen that youth is a very dynamic idea reshaping the Indian political background. During election season, we were constantly monitoring wherever elections were happening in India, and we saw that the youth that was coming out to vote not on the basis of religion, not on the basis of caste, but they were more concerned about education, employment, and inflation. We have seen that India has a huge bulging population, and majority of them is youth. And their concern is basically if they are being granted employment. And this is one of the major concerns which they have highlighted in this election season. And this is becoming one of the reasons that if BJP cannot address this aspect, they have chosen regional political parties because they are more grounded in the reality. They understand the realities of the local population, and which is the reason why we saw that a lot of regional parties gain a lot of significance within the Lok Sabha.
So I just want to understand one thing. Like India is a diverse country. There are multiple ethnic groups and multiple religions. Do you think that every group is like they feel represented in their political landscape and their political activities?
India, as we all know, is a secular country. With that regard, it's unfortunate that all of the religions and all of the castes are not well represented within India. And this trend has been on the rise. Majority of the wealth, jobs, employment, education, funding, scholarships are catering the Hindu majority or the people who belong to upper castes or upper classes. There's a difference between castes and classes. Classes is a wealth category. These are the people who are being catered to the most, whereas the rest of the people being from the religion, caste, or their social background are being ignored. We have seen that majority of India is basically rural area, and we have seen that the living standards of these are horrible. We have seen that Muslims, for instance, do not have access to education. If they even if they have access to education, they do not have financial backing to continue their education. And we have seen that scholarships, especially for Muslims, have been eradicated and also reduced. So Muslims cannot go to schools. So if they're not attending schools, then they cannot find employment. And due to this, they have to continue the unconventional means of employment. They are either vendors or street vendors. They have means of employment which are not integrated within the Indian economy, and due to this, they do not make enough living. We have seen that majority of India lives below the minimum poverty line or minimum earnings, which is less than $1 a day. So this indicates that although Indian economy is on the rise and Indian diplomatic prowess is on the rise, but we have seen that within the Indian society, the people who should be represented, who should make up India, are no more making up the India. It's only the Hindus and the elite class Hindus and also the upper caste Hindus.
Yeah, so there is one very complex dynamics in Indian politics. Many people believe that it's party which attracts voters, and many people believe that it's the party leader, especially in the case of BJP, which is in power for the third consecutive. So, what do you think? Either it's the party or it's the leader?
India is a big country. We have seen that the north is different from the south and east is different from the west. So these dynamics vary from region to region. If we see the national party BJP, Modi has a lot of traction. People vote for Modi, and we have seen even in the manifestos of BJP, one of the prominent picture is of Modi and Modi giving assistance to farmers, Modi supporting the sports, or the image of Modi is very attractive. So he does gain a lot of voting. But then in the recent election, we saw that Modi or the BJP was not as popular because the local population was more concerned about their local issues. The rural area had its own issues, such as we saw the farmers movement, we saw employment issues, we saw education related issues, we saw social disharmony. These were the issues that attracted votes within the region. Interestingly, we saw what happened in Faizabad constituency, where Modi inaugurated with great show the demolished temple on demolished mosque, Babri Masjid. But all of this religious politics could not gain him vote. We saw that a Dalit won from that constituency from Samajwadi Party. This indicates that although sometimes BJP is famous, the image of Modi is famous, but a lot of the times this has not helped BJP gain the vote. And this is primarily due to the reason that BJP, being a national party, is unable to address the issues or concerns of the local population. And that is why we saw the regional parties do better.
So, like, given these factors, like in Indian politics, what are the major implications on regional countries, especially for Pakistan and Bangladesh and other countries?
We have seen that now BJP is in power again, and for Modi, this could be the last term, given he is of 72 years. We are not sure. Let's see what happens in the next term of elections. But Modi's popularity within India is growing. We saw the scale of 2014 elections, 2019 elections, and now 2024 elections. And we saw, like I mentioned, the rise of regional parties. With this, what comes next is if we saw in 2024, the BJP continued its foreign policy with regards to regional policy. We saw that with Pakistan, there is no chance of communication. There is no chance of any sort of easing of tones, or we saw what is happening with the cricket right now. It is being weaponized, and these are the aspects which were considered low-hanging fruits. But even these aspects are being weaponized by India. We saw the aspect of trade come up last year, which did not gain much traction from New Delhi. And this indicates that there's an urgent need to practice strategic patience towards India. We have seen that with regards to other regional countries, we have seen that India is growingly becoming unpopular within this region. We saw what happened in Maldives, Moiso coming to power on the slogan India out, and we saw what has happened. Um, Regardless of this, BJP and the Indian government or Indian foreign policy has been supportive towards the regional countries, regardless of the political sentiments, regardless of how the parties came into power. BJP, the Indian foreign policy has been providing humanitarian assistance or developmental assistance. India has been known as the development partner of the countries. And this is how India is continuously engaging. We saw recently India had a high-level engagement with the Afghan foreign minister. This indicates that now, after what happened in Bangladesh, the decline of Modi's India's popularity in Maldives, in Sri Lanka, and there are similar sentiments in Nepal as well. We are seeing that regardless of downgrading of different popularity in different regional countries, the Indian foreign policy is still very much involved in reviving its power, reviving its influence within the region. This remains to be seen how the other countries would react, and let's see how the relations with Pakistan go ahead.
Yeah, you just talked about cricket like it was weaponized against Pakistan. So I just want to know, like, is it they have real security concerns, or either it's like they are just using this tool for their to appeal the citizens of Indians to gain again, like, justify their um, dominance.
With India, we have seen that if it is with India and Pakistan relations, if it is multilateral relations, how we attended the SCO meeting in New Delhi. Likewise, Jaishankar was here to attend the multilateral engagement. But whenever it comes to bilateral engagement at any level, we have seen a negative response from New Delhi. And this has been their foreign policy towards Pakistan. In 2019 elections, anti-Pakistan sentiments or anti-Pakistan rhetoric did win BJP a great majority. But now this time, we saw that anti-Pakistan sentiments within the country was not galvanized as much as it was in 2019. These aspects do integrate hatred and a sense of competition with Pakistan. It is very unfortunate that such aspects are being weaponized. And this indicates that chances of normalization, of chances of a defrost between the two countries is very minimal, given Indian foreign policy's posture towards Pakistan.
Yeah, they have, regional ambitions. So I think they will not like. We have nothing to offer them, like to call them or invite them on a table. So I think the multilateral is the only option that we have to talk to them for issues such as security, border terrorism. So, ma'am, mine, thank you so much for joining us. It was a very comprehensive talk, and it was very interesting and productive discussion by you. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Good luck with your podcast.